anyone who doesn't know, my name is Kelly Williams and I'm an intuitive lifestyle coach. That's my fancy name. And I also host a couple of friendship groups and a kindness campaign called Spread a Little Sunshine. So the hack today I've called Feeling Alone. Now what I'm going to talk about, again, and you'll either vibe with it or you'll think, what on earth is she banging on about? But the one thing I've learned with everything I do right now, I just have to be true and authentic to who I am, and I just have to say what feels right for me, and then you guys will just vibe with it or you won't, and that's fine, because in life we are attracted to people or not repel, I'm not going to use that word, that sounds awful, but it's a push-pull. So if you find somebody in your life for whatever reason and you feel attracted to them, I don't necessarily mean just physically, I mean on a soul level, then you're attracted to that person for a reason, and you've just got to trust them. You know, there's a reason why it is. So if you find yourself and you come back to these videos and you listen to these videos, it's because there's a part of you that resonates with what I say. So just trust it. You know, you don't have to sort of analyse it or justify it or whatever. You know, if you benefit from watching these videos, then brilliant. That's it. And you're meant to sort of vibe with the people that you vibe with, and also, you know, there's people that you won't vibe with, and that's how life works. So I've called the video Feeling Alone. I'm going to talk about it in a physical sense, and then I'm going to talk about it in a spiritual sense. So when you feel alone physically, right, your first thing that you should do if you feel alone physically is, if you are in a relationship and you do have a family, then those are the people that you naturally would turn to. And do that. If you've got that, do that. If you've got friends who you know, that are absolutely solid as a rock, and they give you good advice, and they know how to comfort you, and they know how to make you feel good, then those are the kind of friends that you should be turning to. Don't turn to friends who are just going to make you feel 10 times more depressed before you started talking to them. You want to go to friends who feel warm, who feel, you know, that once you've spent time with them afterwards, you feel better. And so if you don't, let's say you don't have that in your life, so you don't have the family and you don't have the friendships for when you're feeling lonely, one thing you can do, and this is not a blooming plug for the groups at all, what I'm going to say is, so I've started these friendship groups in the UK called Happy Friends Kirklees and Happy Friends Bradford. The reason why I started those groups is because I myself get lonely. And so what I wanted to do was create a group for people who get lonely, who maybe don't have the family and they don't have the friends, but if they're in a group with other people who they know also are in a similar situation, who also might be feeling lonely, who also don't have a family, what happens is it makes you, first of all, feel less alone because you're in the same boat with other people who are on your page. So it makes you feel connected with people, even if they're not your family and they're not your friends. You've got a common interest, a common thing that connects you. And even if it is loneliness, there's nothing wrong with connecting with somebody because you both feel lonely. I bet there's, you know, there's a million billion people on this planet that do that. The idea with the Happy Bench is that people connect, people have conversations, and perhaps it is because they feel lonely and that's why they're having those conversations. I think there's nothing wrong with holding your hand up and say, I know some people have said to me, God, I wouldn't dare sit on a bench and kind of advertise that I'm lonely. And so I suppose what I'm wanting to do, part of what I'm wanting to do anyway, is make it okay, make it all right to say, do you know what I do? I get lonely, I get really lonely, and I get really sad, and that's okay. It's all right to feel like that. But what generally happens with me is you're just in a dip, you're just in a slump, you just need to fathom things out, you just need to, you know, reconnect, and then you'll be back again and you'll be feeling okay. But when you're in those dips and when you're in those lows, the feeling of loneliness and the feeling of being alone sometimes can be overwhelming. I know for me, it is like, there's times when I would just like chop my arm off to feel that warmth and to feel that love from a partner. You know, do I believe I'm going to be single forever? No, of course I don't. Do I believe that this is my thing, this is my path, I believe that I had to experience loneliness to the degree that I've had to experience it, because I believe part of the reasons why I've been plonked on this planet is because I am supposed to help people who feel lonely. So I'm a huge believer, this happens all the time the world over, doesn't it? The person that experiences something, they experience it, and then they then become the person that then helps other people to deal with it, get over it, whatever. And so that's what I think. That's why I think the universe has given me a lonely path up until now, because if I hadn't have experienced it, I wouldn't have created Happy Friends, I wouldn't have started the Happy Bench Project. And if part of my purpose, if part of the reason why I'm here is to do those things, then I had to experience loneliness in order to, you know, get me to that point to do what I've done. Anyway, so that's that. So try and connect somehow with people who are in a similar position as you, and it just does that magical thing of soothing you. There's nothing better when you're feeling like that and you're in those moments to hear somebody say, I've got you, or I feel you, I understand, I feel exactly the same, I know where you're coming from. And just that sense of somebody gets me, somebody understands, somebody knows how I am feeling in that moment, that in itself can just comfort you and get you through, just get you through the dip. So that's talking about feeling alone on a sort of a physical sense. Now, I'm now going to talk about when you're feeling alone spiritually and what you can do spiritually to feel less alone. So I'll lose some of you now. I know I will. You'll be like, oh God, she's off again. But anyway, I'm just gonna say it. And if there's that little bit of you that's intrigued, then just keep listening. So when you feel alone, again, I only ever say what I believe and what I think and what I've read and what I've learned. We're all individual. We all have our own personal opinions and we all have our ideas. And so, you know, I'm not saying that this is going to suit everybody. I just say what comes into my head and that's it. So when you feel alone spiritually, you have disconnected from your, let's call it, divine being, inner guidance, your soul. You know, that I believe that we have a soul, and I believe that our soul is connected to whatever you want to describe it as. I describe it as like Big Kelly. I believe that there's a Big Kelly, which is my soul, my whole soul, and then me, there's a little bit of me, my soul, that's within me, and Big Kelly is guiding me. That's what I think. You might think it's crazy, but that's what I think and that's what I feel. The way we can connect with that guidance, we all know it, it's our gut, it's that emotion, it's that pull, it's that feel that we all know is right, okay? That's your inner guidance, that's your soul, that's that voice that says, go on, go on, go on, do it, do it, do it. And then your ego kicks in and says, don't be such a dickhead, you could never do anything like that. But the guidance is our soul. So, the number one thing that I recommend is for you to connect with that voice, with that guidance, with that inner knowing, is to meditate. Now, the reason why I bang on about meditation and the reason why I meditate twice a day, I do 20 minutes in the morning and I do 10 minutes at night, because when I am off my path, when I am off in the bushes and my ego, brain, thoughts, thinking has taken over and has sent me off into fear, into anger, into frustration, I'm off my path, right? So what I do to reconnect me, this is what Reiki's all about as well, it's like you're plugging in. Imagine there's this like power source coming down, and if you're off in your head and you're off in your thoughts, you're just in your ego and you're not connected, whereas meditation and Reiki and a million other different healing modalities connects you, it plugs you back in. So my number one tip, if you are feeling alone, is to meditate, because when you do that, you plug back in, you then feel that this sense of loneliness, it what's the word, dissipates, is that a word? Is that, anyway, it might not be appropriate right now, but it reduces. And so because I feel connected to like who I really am, I also, because I am that way out, I talk about like spirit guides and angels and all of that business, and I believe that they're kind of around us, supporting us, guiding us, helping us. And so when I meditate, I connect back to that, and I don't feel alone anymore. I don't feel scared anymore. I feel that, you know, there are energies around me. I know some of you will be like, what the hell is she talking about? But like I say, I'm just being brutally honest with you. And so that feeling stops me from feeling alone. Because another thing that I do just want to mention is that because right now I am at this point in my life where I am doing things like what no one else is really doing, from a sense of how I fund myself, how I offer my services to people, and how I am compensated for those services. You can contribute with cash, you can contribute with kindness, you can, you know, contribute with skill sets and things like that. Everyone's like, are you crazy? But it just feels right. And so what's happening right now in my life is that a lot of people around me, who are not particularly spiritual, just think I'm mad. They just think, Kelly, what the hell are you doing? This is never going to work. You're going to have no money. You're just, you know, you're just being silly, really. Honestly, that's like what sometimes it feels like. And so when that happens, that sort of, what I have to do is turn to my guidance and my connection to give me that comfort, so I feel I am on the right path. And what I also have to do is turn to and get comfort from friends who are like-minded. Because if I say some of the stuff that I say to people who are not spiritual, they think I'm a bit mad. They think I'm a little bit crazy. Whereas when I say to someone who's on my page, I'm feeling like this and this and that and that and that, they understand it and they get it, because we're very, very similar. So whether you're into all of this spiritual nonsense or you're not into it, what you've got to do to stop feeling lonely is find people who are on your page, find people who get you, find people who know where you're at and can comfort you. So whether that's from a spiritual sense or from a physical sense, it's just about feeling less alone. That's what we're doing, because we just need to kind of get over that hump. We just need to get us out of that dip, feel that love, feel that warmth, wherever you can get that love and that warmth from. And then once we've got that feeling back, it kind of gives us the oomph to continue, and it gives us that, you know, that energy to carry on. Because I'll be really honest, there's days when I'm just like, I've had enough, I've just give up. Do you know what I mean? I just want a bloody cuddle. And I don't just mean from a friend, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I mean, do you know what I mean? And sometimes I've had enough, like I've absolutely had enough. But I reconnect, I turn to the people around me who give me that comfort, who give me that love, spiritual or not spiritual, it doesn't matter, it's just love, and it's all just love. And so, and then I'm back on my path, and then I keep going, and that's what happens, and that's what we do. And so that is the happiness hack. I know I've kind of gone on a bit, but I'm just in one of those moods. And so you'll either resonate with all of that, or you won't, and you'll just let it kind of like sink in and wash all over you and see what you think. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to know your opinions and your ideas. You know, when you feel lonely, what do you do? What do you find comforts you to kind of get you through? And if you have got a family, if you have got a partner, if you have got people around you that you have got, when you feel lonely and when you get to that point, right, just be really, really grateful. And I don't ever want pity from anybody. I know where I'm at and I know where I'm going. And so, you know, I know right now I don't have that physical, I don't have that family around me, but do I think it's coming? Yeah, absolutely. So I don't ever want, you know, pity from anybody. But if you have got that family around you, don't be shy about opening up to them and telling them how you're really feeling. And sometimes what you actually just have to do is say to your family and your friends, especially your family, I just need a hug. I just need some comfort. I'm just feeling a bit fed up. I'm feeling a bit lost. I'm feeling a bit lonely. I just need a hug. I just need to feel you close. And just lean on people. Don't try and just be alone, fathoming it all out. So whether you turn to angels, whether you turn to your higher self, or whether you turn to friends, or whether you turn to family, don't try and fathom it all out on your own, because that's when it just feels really, really difficult. There's always something, whether it's up there or it's there, there's always something or someone that can comfort you, so you don't feel alone. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching. Like I say, I'm going to put the links. I've got a million links these days. I'm going to put some of them in the comments. And that's it. I'll shush. And thank you for watching. And I will see you all next week. Okay. Namaste.